down every night, and now my eyes are open wide, and the sky has never looked so bright. And I don't need to see the road to believe, yeah. 'Cause this is where I'm meant to be, I believe. And I feel the magic everywhere. It's all around us, it's in the air. And I see the magic we can share. So much wonder everywhere. And I feel the magic, woo. Can you imagine, woo? And I feel the magic, woo. Can you imagine, woo? And I feel the magic. It's all around us. And I feel the magic. It's all around us. There's wonder on this winding road in front of me, yeah. 'Cause I'm right where I'm supposed to be. And I feel the magic everywhere. It's all around us, it's in the air. And I see the magic we can share. So much wonder everywhere. And I feel the magic, woo. Can you imagine, woo? And I feel the magic, woo. Can you imagine, woo? And I feel the magic. It's all around us. And I feel.
Oh, it finished. And I was just having an amazing conversation with my sister, one of my sisters. I have three sisters. And each of them and myself are navigating through a very challenging time of our lives. So the topic tonight on Soul and Beyond about emotions and health, it's very timely. For those of you who know me, I always come from a place of lived experience that I can combine for you into a place of balance between our spiritual selves, our physical selves, life and beyond, and hence the show, Soul and Beyond. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm Gwenda, your host. I have many titles. What an awful word. I have many descriptions, and you are welcome to visit my website, to have a look at the description here to find out what those titles are, because tonight's show is going to be riveted in deep emotion, deep spiritual connection, transformation, and healing. I have so much to share with you tonight, and even though the topic is about emotions and health, at the moment in my own life, there is so much going on, and I do not come from a victim perspective. That's not my gig. I come from a place far exceeding, and if that makes you leave, that's fine. That's where you're at. However, if you stay, I thank you. If you stay, that shows me that you are open and willing to take on a whole new awareness of this world, because I've got some serious conversations to share with you that I've been having with God, with Jesus, with the angelic realm, because of circumstances in my personal life. You see, that's the thing with me. When I bring teachings forward and when I offer you pathways to be able to excel, to change your life, it comes from experience, not from learned, gone off, read a book. It comes from a wealth of knowledge, and experience. So welcome to tonight's show. We are going to delve in very deeply, and there is some wonderful presences here from other realms, and there is some amazing things to share with you tonight about the purpose of this life, the way that things unfold in this life. Do you ever wonder? Have you ever asked, what is the purpose of this life? Especially when it gets tough, especially when you lose someone that you love so much. You know, I had an amazing conversation with Archangel H.E.A.L. Now, that is one archangel not to mess with. They all have an incredible energy, but H.E.A.L, it's a whole different adventure. Do you ask to speak to them? Do you connect with the archangels, with the angelic realm? It's there for you. They are there for you to talk to you anytime, as are your loved ones. What do you do to do that? Now, I mentioned loss as in someone leaving, and the word loss, even that is actually not, shall I say, from this construct, that is not a correct word, loss. But we perceive it as loss because our loved one is gone. So how else can we say they're gone than loss? And we feel it. But there's also loss when there is a change of friendship, when there is a change of connection with family. You know, 6 years ago now, a lot of people were ostracized in their families. A lot of people had massive division. In fact, in 2020, 2021, there were families who would not allow certain members of their family to come to the Christmas table. And I'm pretty sure you all know why. So let me just have a look and see and say hello to you. Tanya Atkins, first horse out of the gate. First horse. Hey, Tanya, it is the year of the fire horse. Welcome, Tanya. Lisa, second. Wow. Hello to you. Oh, look, here with Gwenda. Michelle, third. Good on you. Nice to see you here. Tanya, yes, hi. Oh, you jumped across, Tanya. You went from one to the other. Soul Chef Antonia. Antonia, that's a very interesting name. Soul Chef. Lisa, thank you for the heart. What's your go-to order at Cane's? Well, we're just going to do that. I don't mess around, by the way. If you want to come in and be a disrupt to my show and to people that are really interested in learning about connection to themselves, connection to Lord Jesus Christ, to God, to the angelic realm, and you want to be a disruptor, well, you're out. I won't put up with you. Evening Cat Grey. And stupid comments. It's such a shame that we get, you know, idiots that want to be on here. And yes, I will just call it for what it is. So we'll just ban that one. My apologies to the people who are here from their heart and from people that really. Emily says she subscribed. Emily Abraham, where are you from, Emily? Welcome, Karen. Hi to you. So tonight's show is about your emotions and health. They are so intrinsically connected. At the moment, at this very moment, we have the situation with our mum being hospitalised after several strokes, and she confused the medical system, or the medical professionals. They could not understand where the clots were coming from, and that she had numerous across her brain. I have my own theories on that, but I won't share them here. So, you know what really intrigues me too is people that come in and spend seconds and leave, and it's just not the place for you, and you are not for me. So I'm glad that you leave. I spoke to the leading doctor, who is a gerontologist, in other words, a specialist that looks after aged people. And I was talking to him about the brain. Now, I did not announce to him, I realise it, Gloria, big time. So I was talking to him about the workings of the brain, and I'm going to say to you, Alzheimer's, dementia, senility. As a former nurse, I worked with many people that were diagnosed as having senility and dementia. Alzheimer's came onto the scene years after. However, the characteristics and the changes are very, very similar. So I asked him that it's been proven that we can create new neural pathways. And his eyes lit up and he said, oh, yes, medical science has framed, hello, Mandy, welcome, Lisa Tier, good morning. Medical science has now found that we can, in people that have had strokes, we can build new neural pathways. And he was intrigued at the conversation that we were having. And I said, so if we can build new neural pathways, do you believe that we can also build new fibers in the brain? Because when it comes to Alzheimer's, they now say, medical science now says, that if this is the fibers of your brain, what happens is they get all tangled up. And then the messages going back to the memory don't come back forward and we lose memory. That's medical science's explanation. So I asked him, can we create new fibers? And his response was, that is a very scientific question, which made me smile. There is nothing that we cannot create new in the body. Little inverted commas here, or in brackets rather, unless that's what you signed up for. So if you're out of this world is cancer, multiple sclerosis, motor neuron disease, migraines, overweight, heart disease, you signed up for that, you agreed for that, that's what's going to happen. And there is no changing that until you're on the other side. And then you go into healing on the other side. While you are here, every single thing you say, you do, creates a reaction in your body on a cellular level. So if you speak harshly about yourself, to yourself, if you scold yourself, if you hold anger with yourself, disappointment with yourself, that is going to manifest into some kind of pain, illness, disease. There is no two ways about it. And medical science have now caught up to that. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this all the time. And people by the tens of thousands go and listen, and all they do is listen. There is only this much of them that actually take it on and go away and do something with it. So we are fronted presently with our mum being in care in hospital in a very serious manner. And prior to coming on tonight, I was talking to one of my sisters who is with mum every single day in the morning. In fact, she had to go in at 4:30 this morning because Mum was delirious. And when my sister was describing how Mum was behaving, it was very evident it was not Mum. Now, I spoke to my sisters last week and said, you must look after Mum and clear the energy, pray around her and cleanse the energy, because there are so many wild and problematic spirits wandering around a hospital. So it's very important to protect her. They've not done that. So hence, Mum has had some intrusions. I myself had to send off something like 13, great number, 13 of them when I was down seeing Mum last week. It's nothing for me, but it is for the average person. So back to your health, your emotions, and what you are creating in your life. And yes, I do emphasize you. So once again, if you have a victim mentality, this is not going to work for you. And that's fine, absolutely fine. When you want to take your life into your hands, your health into your hands, then you will find you have the power to make incredible changes. And when you then step into a place of divine union, you can change everything about your health. Now, traditional Chinese medicine is able to show you where certain emotions are stored in particular organs, and it's fascinating. And that's what I said to the doctor I was speaking to when I was asking him questions about being able to create new fibers in the brain, that he thought was a very scientific question. When I was speaking to him about us being able to heal ourselves, you know, the eyes go glazed over, so I know it's time for me to bow out. And it's like that for me talking to anyone when I'm speaking at an event or when I'm speaking to someone who thinks they want to work with me. It's just the way people are. But you hold the power within you. So Ziggy says she has a traumatic brain injury. She's 52, had to connect new neural pathways in her brain to be able to do things like walk and talk. And Ziggy has done that. However, she still has memory issues. Now, Ziggy, I'm going to say to you, the memory issues are because your soul does not wish for those memories to be in your body. And so for everyone listening, here is the kicker. One of the things I asked God on the weekend is, given that our soul is of your divine creation, why is it that we can become so sick, or in Ziggy's experience, have such a tremendous brain injury? And the answer might stun you. The soul is powerful. How can it not be? It is a beautiful piece of pure love, pure energy that is simply incredible and expansive. But what happens when we get here? What happens when we come into this world? You know what happens? The persona that you develop, that we develop, and it's not just one. There are many personas, you know, in the mental health world. They would say that that was schizophrenic, that was multiple personalities. However, if you care to take a look at yourself over your life, you have played many roles, you have been many versions of yourself. Therefore, you have been many personas. The essence of you never changes. However, the junk that is piled on top of the essence of you becomes the strength, becomes what you believe in, becomes what you live to, becomes everything you think you are. And in the meantime, you are becoming further and further and further separated from your soul. So the amazing realization is that the soul is pushed away, and we believe in the persona that we have created. That persona has been created because there are things the soul wants to experience. And here's the other kicker: we forget to let go. So we experience something, anything, and then we hold it as a memory. And as Ziggy's saying, she has memory issues. No, Ziggy, you do not. The things that are not coming back to you is because the soul has stepped forward and said, this does not serve me. This is not helping me in my path that I came here for. Profound stuff, isn't it? So when we're looking at who are we really, and where do we make these decisions? Where do they come from? Well, they come from the time that you are born. A lady that I went to visit her horse on the weekend. Yes, I'm a horse whisperer. So I went to have a look at the horse because she believed it needed to be put down. So I asked if I could visit the horse before that took place. The horse did not need to be put down, and she wasn't ready to be put down. It's human interference, human lack of connection, lack of awareness. So talking to this horse and actually singing to her, and she went to sleep while I was crooning to her. Yes, I can croon. So crooning to her, she went to sleep. And then as I generated the energy through her and also had a look, she just stood so peacefully. And her owner said, I've never seen her behave this way with someone she doesn't know. And she doesn't even behave this way with the vet. This particular person believes themselves to be a strong believer in God and a strong believer in healing. And you know what? I just draw the line. If you believe in God, there is no space for question. There is no space for umming and ahhing. If you are aligned with your soul, there is no space for anything else. When your spirit, which is that which the persona has become, is running the show, then your soul is pushed out. As Archangel Raziel said, you are meant to experience love because you are love. You experience love in the physical, and that comes at a cost until you understand love is never meant to hinder. Love is never meant to bind. You are to love and let go. You are to love and let go. So you could love a job, then you are to let go. You could love a food, but it's not good for you. You are to let go. And to recognize it is time to let go. But how often do we do that? How often are we willing to let go? Parents that do what this new age saying, helicopter parents, parents who are fearful for their children, all they're doing is generating fear onto their child. They're not providing their child with a door open to their soul, to the child's soul, not the parent's soul. We complicate this life so much. Is it any wonder that there is so much pain? Where in your body now do you feel pain? Now remember, I will call in Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel. They will come to your side if you are willing, if you are open to accepting, if you are willing to listen. But if you are in your spirit, if your spirit, which runs your mind, your spirit that is the persona that you believe yourself to be, if that is what is running your life, how can the angels get through? How can God get through? How can your soul get through to you? They can't, right? They just can't. The soul is gentle. The soul is quiet. It doesn't hassle you. Your persona, the personality, the things that you are so attached to, and that is the other part of health and emotion, is being attached to someone, attached to an item, an article, anything, a material item that you're attached to. These things inhibit and prevent you from being able to get the guidance from your soul, prevent you from receiving healing that can be absolute. Now, I told my sister I am going to talk about her tonight because she told me that on Tuesday next week she's going for a lumpectomy, and they have already implanted a magnet into her breast. Am I in favor? Absolutely not. Now, this sister was and still could be an incredibly powerful healer. She is someone that Jesus has worked through for hundreds of people, and they have had incredible experiences. And now here she is facing her own, shall we say, serious, because that's what the personality, the persona believes it to be, serious situation, and is handing over her trust to someone else. I asked her before she goes, would she unite with Jesus again? And I told her I would talk about her tonight because she is the mother of Jack. She did actually ask me to talk about Jack. And I said, you love hearing about Jack. So Jack's been around. In fact, in one of the delirious states, as they call it, that my mum was in, she told staff that her daughter Karen and Jack were with her today. So mum, being in that state, is able to see between realms, and she was able to see Jack. There is so much more to you than you currently accept. When someone tells me they believe, and when they tell me they believe and they're in pain, they believe and that pain continues or it creates a disease, then I have to go, but you don't really believe. How has this situation, have I been exempt from any kind of intrusion through the emotional expressions of this with my mother? No, I have not. No, I have not at all. And in this past week or so, have been sitting with and calling in the archangels, God, Jesus, and asking, what is this all about? Do you do that? Do you ever sit in that quiet space and say, what is this all about? You see, the soul knows. The brain asks questions. And the brain is intrinsically linked to the persona, the personality that you have created yourself to be now, the persona that you were yesterday, 5 years ago. If you think that right now you are the same person you were 5 years ago, oh, you're badly missing the mark. You are never the same. You are not the same from one day to the next. And yet we believe differently. We believe that we are that same person. On a small level, we may be, but in the greater picture, We are not. We are not at all. So traditional Chinese medicine is able to show where particular emotions sit in the body and therefore affect the health. With my mum, it is her brain that has been affected, and it is because of things that she's never been able to address, never been able to heal because she couldn't address them, never been able to see her way clear of them. In other words, how do I get out of this? How do I leave this that is disturbing my life? Oh, it's too hard. It's too hard. So I will push it to the back and I will just keep pushing forward. Well, the thing is that when you push things to the back in the body, they manifest. It doesn't matter where you put them, how far back you put them, they will manifest, because emotions are energy that is charged, and it is charged with a feeling. It's charged with something that is acidic, inflammatory, destructive. Every thought you have, this is one of the answers that I received, every thought you have sits in every cell of your body. So it could sit in a cell of your big toe and suddenly it will inflame. It could sit in your heart and you will have a heart attack or heart flutters or whatever. Emotion travels just like a thought. And this was the other awesome work that I was doing with H.E.A.L and Raphael. Every thought that you have has an energy with it, and it does not just go to the brain. How could it possibly? A thought is energy. I can send you healing energy now, which will land with you if you're welcoming it and receptive of it. I can send a thought that is not so kind to someone else, and it will land. Thoughts do not just stay here. They're active. Thoughts are active energy. And then when we speak them, they have even more power. That's why we say your spoken word needs to be looked at before you speak it. Your spoken word carries so much energy, powerful, destructive, loving, kind. Depends what you're doing with it. So how could we possibly accept that a thought stays here? Thoughts don't stay there. Thoughts travel through every single cell of your body. Thoughts permeate the cells of your body. More than thoughts, the emotional charge that is carried with your thought is held in the cells of your body. And wherever you keep overloading, that is where things go wrong. That is where you will injure yourself. That is where inflammation will be, where you have something that won't heal, an ulcer, a break, a skin break, and it won't heal. A migraine that you don't seem to be able to ever get rid of, it just keeps coming back. So when we're looking at thoughts, emotions, and your health, we must understand that our thoughts come to every single cell. Now, science will tell you that your body grows new cells every 72 days, every so often. The liver generates new cells, new things. Not new things, sorry, new cells. So you might be saying, well, if I'm generating new cells and I'm generating new parts of myself, why am I still sick? Well, why are you still sick? Why is things not healing? Because your thoughts still go into those new cells. So those poor new cells that come out, woo, and they're awesome and they're full of vitality. They're full of divine expression. They're full of electrical charge that is just loving life, and they just get weighed down with what you're carrying. How are you tracking along? Sitting well? Let me just have a look at some of your answers. Lisa Tier says, I actually had a family clearing the other month. The SRT therapy is so interesting. Yeah, I don't do therapies, Lisa, so I'm not sure what SRT is. Cat Gray, not necessarily true. Cat's saying we signed up for our experiences, not necessarily complete fact. Lisa Tier, yes, so true. The roles you play, the masks you play. Absolutely, Lisa Tier, absolutely. Cat asks, can your soul get stolen? No. No, your soul cannot get stolen, but your physical self can. Absolutely. Your soul is eternally connected, divinely connected in divine union. Your soul can never be stolen. Oh, pardon me. If you wish to make a deal with the darkness, then that's not stolen, right? You agreed. And I don't see you doing that, Cat. Tanya Atkins, lovely. Lisa Murray, great explanation. Thanks, Lisa. Mandy Young says, totally sitting as ultimate truth. And Tanya, this is so interesting. It's thank you, ladies. I appreciate your interaction and your engagement very much so. This is a very, very passionate area of mine, a very passionate topic, subject. You know, it fascinates me, and that's what I was saying to the lovely doctor that is looking after Mum, when he was amazed at the questions I asked. And he does know that I'm a former nurse, and he loves that. He loves to have someone that can grasp his language, basically. But he was intrigued by my questions, and I said to him, but we're a fascinating creation. We're an amazing creation. And he said, oh, yes, that we are. This is why I am so passionate about health, well-being, and spiritual connection. One cannot be whole without the other. And which is the one that gets shelved? Which is the one that people are not prepared to step into? You know, I have people come and go from my spiritual school of Wesh all the time. And they use all sorts of reasons, excuses as to why they're not staying. But people are so ready to shelve that one element. Which one do you think it is? And then there's the other one that they can make more excuses for than paper on a toilet roll, and that is their emotions. Being ready to be in charge, to be aware of their emotions, to work with their emotions, to own them, to front up to them. Because whenever there's pain in the body, it's because there is an emotional charge that is trapped. And so many clients, so many students say to me, but I've done the work, there's nothing there, it's still hurting. No, you haven't done the work, and that's the thing. You don't do the work, you feel. You feel and you be honest. Why can't we be honest? Oh, because it hurts. Because I now have to look at something that pains me to look at, that hurts me to look at. Well, you have a choice, and that was also one of the things that Archangel Gabriel was reminding me of. You have free will, and how you use your free will determine your ability to heal, your ability to move beyond the personality, the persona. Which personality are you wearing right now? Are you all feeling charged? Are you having some kind of resistance, rebellion to what's being said tonight? Because if you are, you need to visit that. You need to visit that and feel into what is the feeling that has been brought up and where is it sitting in my body. Maybe tomorrow you go to get up out of bed and a wrist, a shoulder, a head, a neck, a knee, an ankle, something goes, and you think, whoa, what was wrong with that? Well, there's your moment. There's your moment to go, oh dear. I'm still carrying my annoyance, my agitation, my grievement with what Gwenda was saying last night. It does make me laugh. It really does. We complicate this life so much more than it needs to be. Loved ones are around us all the time. Angels are by your side. In fact, I saw an angel with a man. They had asked me to go up to him and tell him that everything was going to be okay and that he had an angel by his side. By the time I was able to get to where he was gone. Angels, and I asked, has everyone got an angel with them? And they said, yes. It's up to you to want to step out of the spirit of you, meaning the persona you believe yourself to be, the person, the character, the personality that you've created. It's up to you to decide to step out of that and go into a higher place. Let your soul, let your guides, let the angels, whoever's there to give you a helping hand. Because you have more help in the realms that are not visible to the physical eye than you do in this world. And whoever can help you in this world, as in spouses, children, friends, are coming from their own limited perspectives, their own limited awareness. How can that possibly help your soul? Tell me, how can it possibly help your soul? Tanya. Oh, thank you, Tanya. This is so interesting. Love hearing about this. Oh, yeah. See, I love talking to people that resonate. This is my gig. Hey, Tanya, that's welcome. Thank you. Fascinating is the word. That's it. Now, what's Michelle saying? So how can we shift our negative thoughts? That is, we know if we know what they are. Michelle, really? If we know what they are. Michelle, you just leave me speechless. I hope that you are asking on behalf of a friend, how that works in things. Mandy, too right, it hurts. Free will hasn't worked out so well so far, only because of the constructs, the constraints in this world, and because we're so ready to listen to that. Everyone has an angel. Yes, it is. It's beautiful, Lisa. It is. Everyone has an angel. So when you are looking into your body, look from your soul's perspective. Ask to be shown or no, or there is an alternative. You can just go, you know what? I'm done with this. I bring in the energy, the power of my soul and welcome it to clear away everything that is not of my highest good. Now, it's a bit of a cliffhanger, because if you are experiencing something in your heart, in your bowel, in your kidneys, your soul wants your attention. And it's important for you to listen. Not run, but listen. The body is your messenger. Everything about your health is because something is not in alignment. You are not in alignment in your life. And the words that I say to my beautiful members is brutal honesty. And most people can't do that. Most people will make more excuses than pieces of paper on a toilet roll, just like when they can't stay learning or embodying in the School of H.E.A.L. So, on that note, it's time to say goodnight. It's time to bid you farewell until next week. Thank you, Michelle. You do make me smile. Michelle's saying, how do we know what the old stuck thoughts are that need to be released? I guess that would be a conversation for another day, or maybe an article, maybe a blog. Keep your eyes peeled. Not too far away now is the Conscious Life Festival in Bundarum in the Sunshine Coast of Queensland, and I'm so excited. One of the days, Michelle's probably got this diarised, one of the days, Sunday I think it is, I am doing a seminar on what happens when you die. So even if you can't make it, perhaps you would like to provide the link to the Conscious Life Festival to your friends and invite them to come to the festival. You never know who needs that lift up, who needs that guidance from the divine archangels. So I'm going to be speaking on what happens when you die. And then I will be facilitating on the other day, I will be facilitating the Sacred Healers Circle. I'm not the Sacred Healer. It's 4 beautiful divine beings that will provide the energy for the Sacred Healers Circle. And then back here in Perth later in March, I'm running a workshop on menopause, perimenopause. And that's going to be super cool. And I just might take that around to a few places. So there's a few things going on, and love to see you. So I shall be in the Sunshine Coast. I shall be in Brookwater, not far from Ipswich. Love to see you. Love to have you in person and having a chat with you. Thank you, Michelle. She says Saturday morning. I knew she'd know. Lisa, you're most welcome. Thank you. Super interesting as always. We didn't have our beautiful lady from the States tonight. So if she's joined in and not been able to connect with us, thank you and welcome. And Kat Gray, you're most welcome. Have the most beautiful evening or beautiful day wherever you are. And just remember, you can choose where you sit in your life. You either sit in the personality that you think is you, or you decide to really explore something far greater. And then alter your personality to be in alignment with that incredible expanse of you. You're very welcome, Mandy. Take good care, everyone. Much love.